It's also like Mom Donnie opens this conversation, and it's going to open this conversation across the country. Mom Donnie winning in New York, it doesn't impact almost any of us that are here right now, unless you live in New York. But what it does is it opens the door for other people to go and have radical ideas like feeding everyone, public transportation, paid time off, single-payer healthcare. Yeah, these radical ideas that benefit everybody instead of a small portion of the population. All right, I like this. One of the big things Republicans are going to talk about today, and I'm only speaking to conservatives. Actually, I'm speaking to everybody. Thumbs up if you think the government running a grocery store or grocery stores is a good option. And by good option, by the way, what I'm saying is, will it provide groceries to people? Will the prices be affordable? And will it fix the problem that we have in more rural areas? Where grocery stores don't want to go. These big chains, like they need a big base. So do you think like more rural areas or areas where a grocery store can't fit in? Thumbs up if you think the government should run those grocery stores. Thumbs down if not. And I do want to see Republicans here too. Democrats officially going socialist because first of all, democratic socialism is not the same as socialism, but it's pretty wild to say that like this is socialism because the mayor is a democratic socialist. I don't see any thumbs down. Are we all in agreement? Republicans, are we in on this too? All right, thumbs down from Jungle Juice there. I see mostly thumbs up. There we go. I like that. Are the Republicans here with us? This is going to make my next video not quite as cool. Daniel says no. All right. Well, it's been tried. I'm going to show you a video from somebody that I really don't like very much. But they did the best presentation I have ever seen on this. This is Jimmy Dore from about 5 years ago. If you don't know who Jimmy Dore is he's a comedian, political commentator, found himself, it was mostly on the left, and then during COVID, he became like an anti-vaxxer, and then now he's just like a right-wing extreme. Like he went from far left to far right. But this was a presentation he did 5 years ago on government-run grocery stores, and I think you'll be surprised to figure out where the test run was and who did the test run.
So speaking of groceries, there is a town...
It has a test run. Great news. There you go, Storm Falcon. Here's the test run.
In Florida. There's a town in Florida called Baldwin, Florida. And 68% of the 1,600 residents of Baldwin, Florida, where the median income is $44,000 a year, they voted for Trump, right? And here's where it is. You can see where it is. It's right by Jacksonville. It's up there. It's about a 20-minute drive to the ocean.
Lovely. Jacksonville's one of the most lovely places in Florida.
Baldwin to the ocean. And well, guess what happened? Recently, they lost their only grocery store, which has been a particular hardship for the large number of seniors who live there, many of whom are no longer able to drive. So what did they do? Bunch of Trump voters, what did they do? Well, they opened up a city-run grocery store that operates on a break-even basis with the clerks, stockers, butchers, and other staff all drawing paychecks from City Hall.
Oh, and all getting benefits too, because it's a government job. They're also getting benefits. So these aren't like Walmart jobs. These are good jobs. These are jobs that you can afford to live on, and you get benefits.
Isn't that something? Yes. Well, this is the definition of socialism. This is unquestionably a socialist enterprise, but the town's residents don't see it that way. As Mayor Sean Lynch, a retired Navy vet, told Washington Post, "We take the water out of the ground and we pump it to your house and charge you." That's called socialism. So what's the difference with the grocery store? There's no difference. They're both socialism. They're both fucking...
You guys got a private company pumping your water there? Ambulance said slavery at one time made the Democratic Party. The progressives left and the conservatives went right. Dems became the Progressive Party. Yeah, I saw somebody arguing like that. Dems started the KKK. Yeah, we know. But they show up at your rallies now, so figure that out.
So when the government sends something to your house and then you pay the government for providing a service, that's called socialism. That's what it is. People don't want to think that. Well, what about, just like paying for the fire department? That's fucking socialism.
Wait, Jimmy, what about libraries that they open at the public expense and anybody can go there? That's not socialism, is it?
Socialism.
What about police departments, libraries, parks, street cleaning, snow plows?
So I'm guessing that a lot of these people get up in the morning, They put something in their mailbox, they put their garbage out on the curb, and then they send their kid to public school, but they're not fucking socialists.
No.
They are not socialists.
That's not socialism.
No. So far, though, the experiment has been a success. The town council had hoped to take in $3,500 a day, and sales have routinely exceeded that. So their socialism is working really well down there. And the idea that municipalities should have to beg... So this is the mayor talking. He says the idea that municipalities should have to beg private companies to provide basic goods and services to its people is absurd. And being able to say we will just do it ourselves is very powerful.
Yeah. See, here's the problem, you dipshit motherfucking Republicans. You've been duped. You've been lied to your entire life that socialism is bad, and it's a coordinated effort by the richest people in the country to scare you from socialism. So what they do is they find any time that the word socialist is used, and where things went bad, like Germany. Now, did Germany crumble because of socialism, or did Germany crumble because they invaded other countries and the world fucked them up? It was because they invaded other countries and the world fucked them up. I think Hitler gained power, got power in 1929, and by 3-4 years later, they're invading other countries. That had nothing to do with socialism, and he brought in all the industries with him and the churches. They had capitalism there. It was not a socialist country. But they did try and do some socialist programs, just like we do here in America, with trash and with libraries and with schools and with the police and with the fire department and with your water and with your power and virtually everything that happens in your house is socialism. You pay in. The government provides the service. If we want to define socialism that loosely, but you guys have all been told that it's scary. It's so scary. It always ruins everything. But you guys never talk about Sweden. You don't ever talk about Scandinavia. You don't ever talk about Canada. You don't ever talk about what Mexico's doing. What's Mexico doing right now? They don't have a lot of money, and they found out that now they can. What are they mining? Is it silicon that they're mining down there? They decided that instead of giving that money to some capitalist, lithium, instead of just giving that money to the capitalists and letting the capitalists keep all the money, they'll take the profits from that mine and they'll reinvest it in their country. And that pays for education. And that pays actually for the crackdown that they've had on cartels. And by lifting people out of poverty, less people will be incentivized to join a cartel. Less people will be incentivized to run drugs. It's a dangerous business, but in a lot of these communities, what's your option? Stay poor and hungry or go join the cartel and have money? Yeah, it's dangerous, but at least while you live, you'll have some money. All of these countries, it's what America did. It's how we recover from World War II. It's what the GI Bill is. It's what the VA is. It's what Medicare is. It's what Medicaid is. A lot of the reasons that we've been as successful as we are because of government-funded programs, and you've been led to believe that it's bad. But the only people it seems to ever hurt are the richest people. And it doesn't really hurt them, it just makes them not way more rich. But this is in red state, rural Florida, Trump country Florida, and they're making the socialist arguments like, why should the grocery store keep all the profit? Why don't we just do the grocery store and we'll take that profit and we'll pay people, and those people that will have good jobs will invest their money in the community, and that'll help build up other businesses. Oh, and we'll do it net revenue, we'll do net revenue. We're not going to try and make money off of this. We're just going to try and be equal. So we'll keep the prices literally the lowest they can, because we never have to pay out bonuses. We don't have to pay a CEO millions of dollars. We don't have to pay for any of this shit. We just have to pay our employees, and that's it. There's no other extra money that we have to go pay out to somebody else. That keeps prices lower, and that keeps people employed. Remember when Tucker Carlson went to Russia and was like, look at these grocery stores. Look how fucking cheap this shit is. This is amazing. Look at the public transit here in Russia. Why don't we do this? Because half our fucking country gets scared that's socialism. If we do that, then it's going to be Cuba immediately. That's why. You guys are scared of what a crazy thing to be afraid of. That you get to own your own means of production. And that heaven forbid, the money that you pay into taxes doesn't go to bail out businesses and bail out banks and give tax subsidies to the Walton family to build a fucking football stadium in Denver. Oh, heaven forbid. Heaven forbid, instead of all of that shit, instead of all those handouts to rich people, heaven forbid your kids have a good education. Heaven forbid you get 6 weeks paid time off like virtually every other country has. Heaven forbid, right? That's so scary. We can't do that. Socialism scare. You know who started the scare of socialism? You know who was funding that initially? And we ran it through schools. We ran propaganda videos at school. Anybody know? Pulitzer, Hearst, Henry Ford, the fucking Nazis. Why were the Nazis anti-socialist? How come the Nazis in America were the ones that were warning you about socialism? If the Nazis are socialists, then why were the Nazis warning you about socialism? They wanted to keep the money. And socialism doesn't let them keep the money. Because you know what would have happened? If we had socialism during Henry Ford's day, you know what would happen? Henry Ford wouldn't be that rich. But you know who would have more money? All the people that worked for him. Remember when, most of our grandparents, my grandparents worked at a place called Geneva Steel. It was in Utah. It was a steel company, and it was one of those companies that wound up leaving the country in the, I guess it was like the mid 90s, and it was a massive problem for our economy. But it was one of those jobs that got offshored. But everybody that worked at Geneva Steel worked there for ages and ages and ages. Why? Because the benefits were incredible. The retirement was incredible. Why? Because they were forced. Because we had much higher taxes when Geneva Steel was running. I think it started in the 70s. We had much higher taxes and businesses were incentivized. You can either pay the government those taxes or you can invest in your people. And so they gave them great benefits. They gave them tons of paid time off. They gave them great retirement. There were all sorts of options. They gave them health care because they would rather pay their employees than pay the government. And then Ronald Reagan showed up and Ronald Reagan said, hey, we're going to lower everybody's taxes. And all these rich people, you know what they're going to do with that money that they keep? They're going to invest it in their companies, and they're going to invest it in other companies. And we're going to have this explosive growth. And 10 years later, all our manufacturing was overseas. Why? They weren't incentivized. There was no reason for them to pay their employees more because they could just look at Taiwan. They could look at India. They could look at China. They could be like, oh, I'll just manufacture it over there. I don't even have to pay because they all have universal health care. So I don't even have to pay health care. So I'll just ship my jobs over there. Fuck all these people. And I've got more money. People are inherently going to always try and keep their money, and it doesn't work. That's why we have all these offshore jobs, because there's no government interference anymore. The government should interfere. They have to interfere. Otherwise, we wind up where we are now. Ironically enough, how is Donald Trump trying to bring back manufacturing jobs, folks? What's his plan to bring back manufacturing? Where's my Republicans? What's Trump's plan to bring back American manufacturing? How's he going to incentivize American manufacturing? Anybody know? Tariffs. What's a tariff? It's a big fucking tax. Crazy. Isn't that crazy? The jobs left because we stopped taxing the rich people. And the only way to get the jobs back is to tax. But we can't tax the rich people, so we're just going to tax like everyday Americans. Isn't that interesting? We're still going to double down on trickle-down economics though, right? Cut taxes, jobs leave. Come back. No. Fuck. Taxes. All right. That's actually his plan, is to put taxes, tariffs, which are a tax. He's going to put tariffs on you so that you have to pay for that manufacturing job to come back. And who's getting a tax cut? The rich people. The ones that are going to invest in these companies, that are going to buy these companies, and they are not going to pay any taxes. So they're going to clean up. And you are subsidizing that. That's what tariffs are. Tariffs are you subsidizing rich people to build manufacturing. But then what happens when those manufacturing jobs come back here? Then what? How are we going to keep those manufacturing jobs here? If I'm somebody and I bring manufacturing back to America and I want to make a lot of money and then I can't find people to work because I'm not giving them benefits, then I might say, you know what? I'm going to shut this company down and I'm going to move. I'm going to move to India. And maybe I'll keep my dual citizenship. Who knows? I'll just start my company over there instead. And then what are we going to have to do to fight that? We're going to have to do tariffs again. It's always taxes. Why don't we just tax them here? Maybe if we taxed people appropriately, those jobs wouldn't be able to be shipped overseas. Just a thought.
Yeah, I know. Socialism is very fucking powerful. Yes, that was the mayor saying that. What's that? No. They put your faith in... Well, the government is us. No, it's the people. So the government is the mayor, who's a guy that lives next door to that guy, and they voted for him. What's that? Until the government changes. Well, who is the government? The government isn't some outside force from Mars. The government are people that get to run for government that you know. So when you say government, you act like it's some outside force that's coming in. It's an occupying force. It's not. Government are people that are made up of in our communities. And what's problem is that the people who are elected to government are the people who have the most money right now because they have the most money to manipulate the system. And that's the problem. The problem isn't government. The problem is the kind of fucking government. Because everybody likes government. You like the fire department, don't you?
I do.
By the way, if you saw Jimmy Dore now, if you go watch Jimmy Dore's show now, he's unrecognizable. It's pretty crazy. He once all of a sudden Jimmy Dore just sold out and he started getting a bunch of corporate money and now his opinions are unrecognizable.
Do you like the fire department? Do you like roads? Do you like libraries? And do you like that kind of shit? Do you like the military? That's the fucking government.
You like electricity?
I hate cops. That's the one thing. That's the one thing. I'm all for unions except cop unions. I don't think they should be able to have unions. So I hear your point. I get your point about that government's corrupt and why would you want government to control things because government is corrupt. But this is a local government. They all know who's in the... So that's why when you say bring it home local so it's less corrupt. And so they're running their own fucking... So those are a bunch of Trump voters who decided we need to have a grocery store and we're not going to beg a capitalist to come fucking exploit us. We're going to do it ourselves. And guess what? It's working. It's working.
And you know, Jimmy, this is on another level, but in California, we are the 5th largest economy in the world.
In the world.
Fourth now, I
The
think.
world! So why don't we all have health care?
That was incredible timing by Fazimo. California had a large economy prior to it being a blue state. Bitch, it's the 4th largest economy in the world. That is an unbelievable timing right there by Fazimo. California used to be great. Okay. It grew, bud. It's growing, bud. It's the 4th largest economy in the world. This was 5 years ago. It grew for 5 years ago. How'd that happen? That was unbelievable timing for you to make that comment.
Why don't we have affordable housing? So it's my government needs to work better for me, Gavin Newsom, who made promises.
So let me just ask this guy, what would you do in that situation? There's no grocery store. Would you say, well, I guess we should just stop?
No, it's not just because I don't want to hear it. It don't make it. Just because you don't want to hear it, don't make it a lie. You said a thing that wasn't true. What made it a lie is that it was fucking untrue. That's what made it a lie. California used to have a big economy and now it is small because of it's a blue state. No, it's bigger. It's bigger now than it has ever been. This is the biggest it's ever been. In the history of California, this is the largest their economy has ever been. And whatever red state you're living in, you're fucking welcome. They're paying your bills for you. Not only can they pay their own bills, but they're paying your fucking bills too. Maybe that's why they run into some deficit spending. You guys don't ever talk about that, do you? California doesn't know how to control their budget. They have a deficit. Yeah, because they're paying your fucking bills, dude. They got all these leech-ass Republicans who don't work. Well, I'm just going to stay at home today. I'm going to stay at home and play video games. Why don't you pay my bills, California? Don't worry. The average pay in this Jacksonville town is $44,000. Yeah, fuck. I wonder why the average pay in this town's $44,000. I fucking wonder.
Arv?
Yeah. No, Amazon.
Well, maybe the government will bring
Okay, I'm pretty sure I just
Jimmy,
won this argument. I think I just won this argument. Okay.
But they've deemed
Why don't you exercise your freedom to not have food?
Well, it also shows too, like what we talk about a lot is it's got to start on a local level. When we all get involved in our local, when we put progressives and socialists in our school boards and our local small town mayors and stuff like Gail McLaughlin did that, and what was that city in?
All right, so Richmond,
All right, I'm going to end it there. I just want to throw that. It fucking works, guys. And I think that's the frustrating part. But it's also like Mom Donnie opens this conversation. And it's going to open this conversation across the country. Mom Donnie winning in New York, it doesn't impact almost any of us that are here right now, unless you live in New York. But what it does is it opens the door for other people to go and have radical ideas like feeding everyone, radical ideas like public transportation, radical ideas like paid time off, radical ideas like universal health care, single payer health care. Yeah, these radical ideas that benefit everybody instead of a small portion of the population. It's opening the door. And there's the evidence is everywhere around us. We say this every day, but like if our system is so good, why doesn't anybody copy it? What country is trying to copy our economic system? Nobody. Nobody wants what America has. They only want our money. That's it. That's it. They just want our money. But nobody wants to live like that. Nobody wants their country to be run like that. I just wanted to show that this idea from Mom Donnie that is radical, socialist, communist, jihadist, Islamist idea of government-run grocery stores has been piloted. And I think in Chicago they've done this. There's other cities now that have done it. But the first city to successfully do it was a Republican-led city who, when they're like, you're doing socialism, they're like, no, this isn't socialism. This is just us collectively using our money to provide a good that is available to all, and we are going to pay employees a living wage for this good, and there will be no capitalist who is making money off of this grocery store, but it's absolutely capitalism and not socialism. You just, no, it's not.